Well, good morning to you all. I am certain that you are well rested and ready for a brand new day. I'm just saying that, you know.
How certain are we?
That you're well rested. I mean...
Well, you must be for you to be up at this time.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm just wondering how much sleep some people got. Some
4
of us get
hours?
like, 4 hours, 3.5. People like Mary get like 2 hours sleep.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
It's Wake Up Nigeria. And as always, we're here to invest premium family entertainment into your morning. So no matter how much sleep you got, it's going to be worth waking up.
Yes, indeed. Now we're going to be starting our 3-hour marathon right now.
Yes,
and set the tone for a beautiful day.
And it's going to be beautiful. Beautiful will be every single part of this show because we thought it out just for your viewing pleasure.
Yeah, so let's get to it. My name is Yomi Uwope.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. Make sure you stream with us if you need to go anywhere. That's tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook Live at TVC Connect.
Now, you can send in your comments across our social media platforms. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yes, indeed. Or, even better, download our mobile app from any Android or iOS store. Please just have them on your phone. You never know. You might want to watch Wake Up Nigeria or any of the other amazing TVC shows that we have lined up for the day.
Yeah, now it's time for celebration.
Yes, sir.
Drinks, cake. You know, music is the food of the soul. And Kiki Lamu will be joining us for the first musical performance of the day.
And our second performance for the day is from the vivacious, zestful gospel singer, Iseoluwa. Okay, so we also have Uche Dominic coming in, an actor, media consultant, and the author of the book Alibaba's Adventure. He'll be joining us in a little while for a book chat.
Doris Komla is a brilliant sculptor and spoken word artist. Now, she's going to be with us today. Of course, she is creative in an unconventional and versatile way. And she's got some amazing art displays that she'll be showing us today.
Yes, indeed. Can't wait to see it. And lastly, we'll be joined by actor Blessing Ambrose. Now, she's made special appearances in major projects like Tinsel, Hustle, Daddy's Girls, and so many more. Okay.
Oh boy, did you see that special effect?
Yeah. So I was wondering if, you know, we're
The Black Panther trying to jump on the lady.
I don't know how I feel about effects.
Anyway, Thursday, well, lots of things happened. A number of things trended yesterday, chief of which was the presidential election tribunal thing. Everybody was waiting, bated breath, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. Anyway, eventually, at the end of the day, the election of President Muhammadu Buhari was upheld by the court, and that's it.
And that's it.
Everybody's calm and chill
Everybody's
now.
simmered down. Yeah. All right. So yesterday I went for a private screening movie premiere for the new J-Lo movie. Oh, right. Yeah, the Hustle.
The Hustle, yeah.
And it was just good? So I think they didn't want to glam it up. They didn't want it to be about the glam. They wanted it to be a real story of real exotic dancers.
Oh, right.
And you know, J-Lo is a really great dancer.
I noticed that they've been doing a lot of women empowerment films. Yeah, so there was Widows, and then there was this recent one with the ladies in the mob.
Not Ocean's 11.
Oh yeah, Ocean's 11 Ocean's 8 was one of them.
Yeah.
And then this more recent one that just a few weeks ago, I think is still in the cinemas. Melissa McCarthy. And a bunch of other ladies.
I think I remember that one.
So that's number 3. Then
the Ghostbusters movie is no longer guys, it's now women. I don't know.
And this Hustle one. So basically just trying to show that, look, a lot of things that we see in the world have been driven by women. So, so I think that's important.
I love how J-Lo has put herself out there, no matter how old she is. And that woman, she almost 50.
Yeah.
You know, that's a hot woman. And then she tried to give you like an over-the-shoulder look into the life of an exotic dancer and what the reason why they do what they do. The fact that Wall Street, those Wall Street guys,
Yeah,
wow,
those are the guys that,
they used to get up to some,
crazy stuff. Okay.
Really
I'm not sure it's a
crazy
movie
stuff.
I want to see, but yeah.
Well, it'll give you a perspective. It will give you
Gave
a
it to me on a
perspective.
Blu-ray disc, maybe.
Maybe, but not going to the cinema to see it. But it was actually quite interesting. I think it's about time for us to go to the news right now.
Yeah. Still working on a bunch of things.
Yeah.
So the rest of the year, I was talking to a number of people that I've been mentoring. So I started this mentoring program. And so I was talking to them about planning and setting goals. And that you don't set big goals or unrealistic goals that you will not be able to meet. That it's important that when you are setting goals, you have to look at the small things first. And so when you hit the small goals, then it then gives you confidence to be able to,
Climb to the bigger ones.
exactly,
But
move to the bigger goals.
What I noted was that in the end, some people actually don't know what they want. They don't actually know how to frame their goals. And I'm possibly one of them. So I have like a scattered, set of things I want to achieve. I'm not sure which direction I should go, whether I should go here first, whether I should go here first, which one is more realistic, which one can I afford to do now, which one can come later, So sometimes it does, make sense to have a mentor, have someone who can guide you, give you advice based on your current situation. But one thing is key, no one formula fits everyone. So that's what's the most important thing.
We do have to go to the news now. Ibrahim has been on standby listening to our Thursday motivation. And that's for you.
All right, welcome to the news. Well, our correspondent Abidat Lawal brings us reactions from different parties present for the judgment as a presidential election tribunal judgment.
Here, the appellant's question.
There were mixed reactions in the court as the judgment was being delivered by a five-man panel of the justices of the Court of Appeal led by Justice Mohammed Garba. The panel had in a unanimous decision dismissed the petition filed by Atiku Abubakar in its entirety.
Those witnesses are also not in a position to
Counsel
prove
to the
or
People's
establish
Democratic
any of the
Party,
allegations
Levi Uzochukwu,
under
says the
his strong
judgment
fact.
delivered will be studied and they will come up with their next line of action in due time.
We've done our job. The court has also done its own job. This is the beginning of the journey. Certainly, I don't think that this is the end of the journey.
There's no question about that we are appealing this judgment. A lot of things are wrong with it. Poor evaluation of evidence, non-evaluation of evidence, misplacement of exactly what the case of the petitioners is.
This judgment is an insult and provocation on the Nigerian people. This is turning the law upside down and using the principles of technicalities to rob a man who was freely given a mandate by the Nigerian people.
The All Progressives Congress, for its part, says it is a victory for rule of law.
Today, the Presidential Election Tribunal have settled the election petition and have found that the mandate given to President Muhammadu Buhari and his Vice President by Nigerians have been upheld by the court.
It's my hope that we allow the matter to rest here so that we can move on with the country. So our president's life experience has taught us one thing, that losing an election in court need not be the end of one's political career. So I think it's for Nigeria that we put this thing about election behind us.
The presidential election was held on February 23rd. The petition challenging the election was filed on March 18th by the People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar. With today's judgment, the PDP is likely to appeal to the Supreme Court to review the decision reached today. Habida Lawal, TVC News, Abuja.
except...
And President Muhammad Buhari has described the judgment of the tribunal as a victory for Nigerians. In a statement, it says, quote, "Good conscience fears no evil report. I was perturbed all along because I knew Nigerians freely gave us the mandate. We are now vindicated. I dedicate the victory to God and Nigerians and commend the judiciary for dispensing justice without fear or favor. I extend a hand of fellowship to those who felt aggrieved at the outcome of the election and went to court. It was within their democratic right. It is a time for the country to move forward as one cohesive body, putting behind us all bickering and potential distractions," unquote. Meanwhile, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, has described the ruling as a well-deserved victory for Nigerians.
We feel happy, we feel jubilant, we are exultant. But then, to be very frank, we knew it was going to be like this because there was no case. It was an election that was won fair and square. So we didn't harbor any doubt. I saw headlines, anxiety, panic in PDP, APC, and all that. I just laughed. We knew it was going to end like this.
Indeed, we're grateful to God and to Nigerians and to the Nigerian judiciary. We believe that it's a victory well deserved, and we did congratulate the president for that. I hope that the PDP will allow it to settle at this point, but if they don't, well, I'm sure that our lawyers are prepared to meet. I don't have a confidence, but our lawyers are prepared to meet them in court.
But that's the update for now. We'll bring you more in our subsequent news update. Stay tuned for sports news after this weather update.
All the papers are reporting the PDP vs APC at the Presidential Tribunal. And we're starting with the Punch.
The Punch has this headline. It says, "Presidential poll. PDP hits judges as tribunal throws out Atiku's petition." Then there's quotes, of course, from APC and PDP, official quotes there on their position. Buhari says, "I wasn't disturbed by Atiku's suit all along." Meanwhile, 187 Nigerians return. South Africa employs rules to stop hundreds. Page 13 has more on that. "I left wife, daughter back with nothing," says one returnee. "Flight delayed for 15 hours, says Dabiri Erewa." It also says here, quacks perform surgeries in Ekiti private hospitals, according to a commissioner. It also says here, Oyo's wage increased by 1 billion naira after polls, says Makinde. Buratai, Fayemi disagree over security vote spending, and how police killed 2 four-year students, SUG president says. That's what we have on the cover of the Punch.
The Daily Sun has the headline, "Buhari floors Atiku. Ex-Vice President PDP failed to discharge burden of proof over president's non-qualification," says Tribunal. "President's victory, good for Nigeria," says Kalu. And PDP, APC, Obi, Wike, Tinubu react. Now over at the top here, it says, Biafra killings, group faults UN report. And other stories, we collected 5.5 million naira for ABU students and 20 million naira for Turkish citizens, say kidnappers. That story is on page 5. And bandits sack 3 communities in Niger, 7 abducted on Kaduna-Abuja highway rescued. Xenophobia, 189 returned from South Africa. And finally, minimum wage, federal government to fast-track negotiations. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Sun this Thursday.
Okay, we also have This Day newspaper this morning. South Africa goes tough, allows airlift of only 187 Nigerians. It also says here, in victory, Buhari extends hand of fellowship to opposition. Atiku PDP head to Supreme Court. Oshomole says it's a win-win situation. It also says right at the top here, above the masthead, Nigeria gains $10 billion FDI. NLNG selects Train 7 project contractor, Saipem Dewu Chiyoda, to build $7 billion plant. And right at the bottom, governors reject call to scrap security votes. That's what we have on the cover of this day.
The Nation has the headline, Atiku adamant as tribunal upholds Buhari's victory. It's victory for Nigeria, says President, and PDP will appeal subversion of justice. It's vindication of Buhari's character, says Tinubu. Lawan Baja, others okay verdict, and Wike, Sanwo-Olu, Obaseki, Oyetola, Abiodun, everybody else greets the president. And at the bottom here, 187 Nigerians returned from South Africa after 7 hours delay. Family members at airport, returnees to get phone, SIM cards, BOI training. That's good. And up here, federal government raises VAT, that's a value-added tax, to 7.2%. And earmarks 182 billion naira for roads. And also only 1.7% workforce in pension net. Wow. Assets hit 9.3 trillion naira. And FIRS recovers 97 billion naira from tax defaulters. Fowler cautions banks. That's what we have on the cover of The Nation. We might have time for just one more. Maybe the Vanguard.
He actually said no, there's no more time. That was the last paper.
I thought it was 6:30.
Oh,
but it's fine.
Sad. But we will take the headlines in the papers in the second hour of the show. Let's take a quick break. We'll return with the traffic situation in Lagos. Yes, indeed. It's about time for us to take the traffic situation. It's Lagos traffic right now. Please note, you can always be part of this segment by sending a message to us online. You could hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, or even Twitter. Let us know exactly what's happening in your neighborhood. I'm actually just in the middle of trying to get some updates for you. But if you have an update, you can send them to us as soon as you can. Online, use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Please make sure you're not on the wheel rather, when you're taking the selfie. You know that's against the rules. All right, so let's start with the route between Bega and Marina. Now that's a route that a lot of people ply. Oh, is it ply? Every morning, we try to give you different routes that have a lot of people moving on them. This morning, it's not going to take you that long to get from Bega bus stop all the way to Marina on the island. If you decide to take the Ikorodu Road route. But if you decide to take Third Mainland, you have just an hour to get to your destination. But if you decide to take Echo Bridge and take Ikorodu Road, you have a 45-minute journey. So the roads seem to be a little calm right now, maybe because on a Thursday like today, there is the whole market sanitation exercise going on. The main trouble spots include Maryland bus stop, Igbobi bus stop, Fadei area, Igbobi area. Around Tejosho Market, it slows down a little bit. And then, of course, Alaka, which are the main trouble spots on that particular route. For some reason, Echo Bridge seems quite free this morning. I'm just wondering why, why not take advantage of it? So if you leave home right now, in about 45 minutes, you should be hitting Marina if you're coming from Bega. I know that Mary, Mike, and Yomi are in the kitchen. Do you have any updates online?
Well, so I was just trying to look. I don't know what's going on, but it looks like all the Twitter handles are asleep. They're still asleep this morning. But I wanted to take just a few spots on the map that might be a bit busy this morning.
Okay, while you figure that out, let me just quickly mention this one. It says Ikeja along is free to national going towards Ikeja inside. Ikeja along going to Maryland is free. The first thing I had to add with its beautiful lights. This one is via traffic butter. And then there's something else someone wrote. You know, it's raining, yes, but we all have our problems, individual problems and all. And he says he was distracted and almost swerved into oncoming traffic this morning. Coupled with the rain, it's especially important to drive carefully. It's especially important to try your best to move as slowly as possible, okay? So please, while you're in traffic, be patient. Don't try to swerve unnecessarily and try to be at alert. It's easy to get distracted.
That's very, very important and very key for this morning. It's a Thursday, so there's light traffic in many key locations, but all the major bus stops are still quite busy. I'm looking at the entire map of the state, you know, different locations where there are pockets of traffic, all the major bus stops and all of that. So I know Titi picked up Ikorodu Road earlier on.
I have something for people that are going west, and that's for people coming from Ajah or Lekki heading towards Victoria Island. Now, if you're heading west on the expressway, the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, you will have a very fun time because it's quite free. The only major trouble spots include Chevron Junction, which is often quite tense in the morning at this time. Then, of course, Lekki bus stop, that's Jakonde. Then, of course, Freedom Way. That particular junction is tense. From there, all the way through Ozumba Mbadi Way is a little slow, so we need to make sure that you're prepared for that. But all in all, it should take you exactly 1 hour to get from Ajah to Bonny Camp. So, hopefully, we've given you some interesting updates that will help you out as you make your moves on the road. I'll be joining the team in the kitchen in just a bit.
Yeah, we can't wait to have you here.
Thanks so much, Titi, for the traffic updates. So, so 136 Nigerians returned home, and so some people, I saw on Twitter yesterday, some people were saying that it was an emotional time for some of them because some of them were singing the national anthem, and it was just very, very emotional because it's almost like no matter what happens to you all over the world and how you're treated, your home is your home.
Exactly.
You know how they say your own will always accept you.
Yes, I keep telling people, it's not like traveling is not something everyone needs to do. It's always good to experience other cultures. But there's nothing like home. Many people think I'm crazy about my decision to not relocate. It's easy if you want to relocate. You can go to the US, you can go to the UK, especially when you have professional qualifications and you can back it up. If you have a job, it's easier to travel than someone who doesn't have a job because they know you have to come back to your job. So generally, it's much easier. But why? This is your country. I'd rather take 20,000 naira per month in Nigeria than go out there because the day you lose your job or something happens, I'm not disputing the fact that there are some people who make a success out of it.
Of course,
but if you find yourself in that position where things go bad, you are stuck.
And it's
You are
serious on your own.
stranded. So there's a friend of mine, he's a police officer, and he said what he does sometimes is when he gets into contact with Nigerians that just come into the US, he tries to connect them with a community or at least a church. Like, are you a Christian? Okay, why don't you go here? There are many Nigerians here. Because, you know, as a police officer, you get to meet so many immigrants. Or he tells them, because he's also a Nigerian, and he tells them that, you know what, if you're a Muslim, you can go here. The Muslim community is here. Why? Because being alone in a strange land is one of the worst things that can happen to you.
So let me even say, even for women that go to give birth abroad, there's this serious, I don't know, okay, so let me just give a perspective. Normally when a woman is pregnant, ready to deliver here in Nigeria, the family rallies around, you know, there's someone to carry the baby, there's someone to help you bring the bottle, someone to send out for diapers. when you're abroad alone.
No, I think for that it depends on who you have, because my
of
wife,
course, so
my
a lot
wife
of people
had
don't
lots of
actually
family.
have.
Yeah, she had lots of family.
Yeah,
she's talking
They
about
don't
the people
have.
that don't have.
Oh,
They
right.
just want.
They just shall want the papers, and now the
Yes.
papers are not possible.
Exactly.
So, and this brings me to some good news for Nigerians, because if I was ever to relocate, the country I would like to relocate to has finally opened its doors.
Where?
So it's like I'm going to take a science course so I can move to the UK. Well, not to the UK, to Britain.
Yeah.
There are loads of opportunities now, and it's gotten so exciting that if you graduate now, you can stay to get a job.
Mike,
that never used to be
Mike,
possible.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what you would do if you were to relocate abroad. Would you think of education? Would you think of work?
Yeah.
Or would it be because of family? What would be the reason why you would
So
relocate?
people relocate for different reasons, right? And Nigeria is one country where we have a lot of our people in diaspora.
Yeah.
In fact, was it last year they gave figures of money generated from Nigerians in diaspora? It ran into billions of dollars.
Yeah, billions. It's billions.
It ran into billions of dollars and tens of billions of money that comes into the country from outside and all of that. So, people will relocate for different reasons, very different reasons. And I say that, okay, like you mentioned education.
So education, to me, if, for instance, you want to relocate, that should be the first thing.
Yeah.
Education. Yeah. That should be the first reason. Not
economic reason.
Not economic reasons.
Always a bad idea.
Because once you have that education foundation, first of all, you've already built a network in the classroom.
Yeah.
You get to know your way around, and you're there for legal reasons. Like you're legally there. So it's not like, oh, you just did holiday or vacation visa and then you just decided,
And
you know
guess
what?
It is sweeter to get your first degree here if you are not a citizen there. That's the mistake many people make. Because you see, many of those that graduated there are paying student loans for 10 years, 15 years after graduation.
The angle, so you guys are taking one perspective, but you're also not considering other perspectives. There are people who feel like they have no other option
here, of course,
in Nigeria than to relocate. And for some of us who, maybe you found a career path. It might not have been well paying at the beginning, but you just found a career path, journalism, you wanted to be a presenter, even though they were paying you 20K. You just found you just found something to do, something to lay your hands on. There are many who don't have that opportunity, or maybe don't even have the skill. So you graduated from one university that is not so great. You haven't found a job in 5 years. Trust me, even if they tell you that.
Even if they tell you you're
so Morocco, Libya, all those countries become attractive.
Yes, just
one of the things I was looking at some stats. I was in Benin last week, and they were talking about immigration and migration and illegal migration and all of that. More than half of the people that are involved in illegal migration are graduates.
Yeah.
Like they have male and female.
Yeah, that's
even
true.
the ones that go to Italy.
Like
a lot of them are graduates. They have graduated, they haven't found a job, and with the support of their family, they go to Italy. Like we sit down, agree that okay, you're going to go to Italy for 3 years,
and all of that.
make some money, and then
maybe bring somebody in.
Exactly.
Or something,
then maybe
and then send back.
Since we are talking of countries to go to, I always advise. Well, I know so many people that are in different countries all over the world, and one country that is similarly attractive to many Nigerians, but it's not such a good idea.
Where?
It's actually.
Where?
I'll tell you guys off air.
Why are you doing this?
Because it is a country that has been literally calling Nigerians for years now.
Yeah.
With visas and easy stuff until you get there and you face the reality. And it's not really as good as you think it is.
I think that whichever way, like you mentioned perspective, you see, there are people that have very terrible stories.
Yeah.
Extremely terrible stories, and you wonder if, like you mentioned Libya and people that have to go through illegal migration, people that die and all of that.
People go through the deserts.
And all of that. So there are people that have terrible stories, but then there are also people that have
great stories.
Flourish stories. Extremely wonderful stories.
We mentioned that.
I mean, we're looking at some of the best medical expatriates. Even there are Nigerians,
Sure.
South Africa most especially.
But
South
they
Africa
still
most
have
especially,
to upgrade their medical licenses and skills.
No, I'm not.
See, do a lot of training.
My point is that for one person's reason for doing something and another person's reason are going to be entirely different.
Exactly.
And results are not. There are no absolutes. That's just my point. There are no absolutes. People move up for different reasons. Some get different results. There are no absolutes.
And one of the things that I noted with migration, as in legal migration, is if you're in the medical field, if you're a nurse, if you're into IT, so you have maybe a Microsoft certification and things like that, architecture, those kinds of skills will just require a little bit of an upgrade. 6 months, 9 months, you've upgraded into the system and you're good to go.
Yeah, but we're talking about people with educational, backgrounds. There's a lot of people that didn't graduate. So what about those that just get fluke ticket from somewhere, or someone cajoles them or offers them an opportunity that just
who didn't graduate are also making a success out of it. You can go there, become a hairdresser. Yes, it's harder, but most times you might just maybe get less paid than someone who is a graduate. But there's actually no fixed thing to it. The most important thing, if you want to migrate, do your research. Know what suits you. Know what works for you. Know what's best for you. Because some people just follow the wagon, and the wagon might not be the one leading you to your salvation.
So that you don't go there and then get stuck.
You get stuck, which is what happens to so many people.
We have to wrap this up,
you die in the streets.
We have to wrap it up.
Horrible.
Yeah. But thank you.
Send us a message. Where do you want to go?
And why are you going there?
I want to go to heaven at some point, though.
Use our hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. We'll be back after this break.
Stay with us.
Indeed.
Making it sound like I'm performing with him. Okay, yeah, but Kiki Lam is in the house, of course. And quite a young singer. We were talking about you, and it's some very interesting things. You've been doing music since Jest was when?
Jest was 20.
How many years ago? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9?
6 years ago.
Like 6 years ago. Yeah. Okay, but you started doing music professionally 2018.
Yeah,
and there's something that you said since you've been doing music that you've received quite a number of no's. How have you been able to deal with the no's? How do you deal with it?
The number of no's I received. So, but to me, I think you just have to do your thing and forget about what people say. Because if you're determined to get there, you surely get there.
Nice. So the way you sound looks like you have some models or some inspirational people who you look up to as musicians and all that. Can you tell me a bit about them?
Yeah. I look up to people like through their story and through their testimony. I know one day surely I'm going to get there.
So, but which artists do you look up to? Which artists do you draw inspiration from?
I'm a fan of Davido.
Okay.
Davido a lot.
All right.
Yeah, I think just Davido.
Just him. Yeah. That's quite interesting, because a number of people will tell you that I draw my music from different places and all of that. But then that's cool. You're not yet signed to a label, right?
At all.
Okay, but then you're looking forward to something like that, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, here's wishing you the best, right? And you're performing Temper this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's with Temper? What's Temper about?
Temper is about a girl always billing me, always thinking, yes, there's money for this, there's money for that. So I'm trying to tell the girl, she should calm down. If the billing is too much, I might end up running away.
Okay, he's not running away from here. He's performing Temper. Take it away.
All right.
Now you just scatter my head, you dey make me dey craze. I no fit concentrate, I just dey contemplate. Girl, you dey scatter my head, honey, you dey make me.
Hello and welcome back. Hey, if you're just joining us, good morning. It's Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, so when you were a kid, and did you bedwet?
Oh, really? Yummy.
You know, there are some kids that they'll then roll up their bed sheets and hide it, and then change their clothes.
I was
before
such a good girl. I used to get up and go to the bathroom, but the light had to be on though. If the passage light was not on, I'm not going anywhere. It's too dark. And that's actually an issue a lot of kids have. They're afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
So they'd rather just do it in bed.
And, just to all the mothers out there, from 7 p.m., reduce the amount of fluid that your child takes. And maybe, just maybe, tonight, they're not going to wet the bed.
This is
I'm
the
just giving you
second hour
some fatherly
Wake Up
advice. I've
Nigeria.
got 3 kids. I know how this thing works. I'm just telling you guys. 7 p.m. Don't give them too
There's
much
a
food.
mom packing bed sheet right now.
Yeah.
I can feel
Avoid
it.
all that
We're feeling your
cocoa.
pain.
Avoid all that cocoa after 8, 9 p.m. It's not going to work. He's going to wet the bed.
We're in
This
the
is the
middle of
second
the
hour.
show.
Yeah.
And hopefully this message is going to someone right now. You needed
because
to
right
hear it.
now, mother's angry. She's like, why did you wet the bed again? Yeah, too much
Kids
water.
have received some backhand already. Yeah.
Too much water, too much fluid. It's not his fault.
No, it's not.
This is the second hour of the show. And we're right in the middle of things, and we're not slowing down today.
Of course, it promises to offer loads of excitement and interesting conversations. Loads is coming your way from us today.
Yeah, my name is Yomi Owokwe.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. Please stream with us. We're streaming live at tvcentertainment.tv and, of course, at TVC Connect. Please send in those comments as soon as you can.
Yeah, of course, on our social media platforms, use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Yes, indeed. We have an app available for you to download. Hopefully you already have it by now, but just in case you don't, go to the Android store, go to the iOS store. On your phone, just download that app, and with the touch of the app, you can watch us live from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, for another great recipe this morning. Something going to be nice. I saw Chef Tina.
Yes,
and once
sir.
Chef Tina is in the building, she's got something for everyone.
Yes, so look at that spread already.
Yeah.
Looking colorful, looking healthy.
Titi, can you see that?
What is that?
It's a good thing you are in the kitchen today, but can you see that?
Oh, wow. What is it?
You know what that is?
That's Titus.
That is crab.
Crab!
Yes! This should be the first time we're having crabs on this show. Really? Which is weird.
Crab fan, though.
Oh. So those are actually crabs.
I feel like asking where you bought it, but don't worry. Well, I'll ask
you can ask her for the details later.
I'm in the kitchen today.
Still to come on the show.
What? We have performances.
Yeah, second performance.
Yes.
A second performance of the day is going to be coming from this young lady, the vivacious and zestful gospel singer, Iseoluwa Abidemi. Now, Uche Dominic is an actor, a media consultant, and the author of this new book, Alibaba's Adventure. He'll be join us shortly for a book chat.
Doris Komla is a brilliant sculptor and spoken word artist. Now, she's a creative, unconventionally so, and of course, very versatile. She'll be joining us for our art display segment this morning.
And lastly, we're going to have actor Blessing Ambrose. She's made appearances in top projects like Tinsel, Hustles, and Daddy's Girls, and so much more.
Yes, indeed.
Save me from the
I wish we could talk about that.
Oh boy.
Wow. Say Black Panther.
Mike,
That's a lot of...
Mike Mexicano, no
was that
words.
graphic?
No words
Very
out of you.
graphic.
Oh, that's Jaguar. You know what? We don't have enough time, but with those,
Black Panther.
those exclamations from all of us should be enough. You need to start. Chef Tina is right here with me. So it's Titi and Tina in the
T,
kitchen.
double T, you know.
Going to be making something special this morning, I can tell. So I'll let you tell us what exactly that is.
Okay, I'm making crab soup.
Okay.
And rice.
Crab
White
soup.
rice, yes.
All
crab
right.
soup. So I have my crab, rice. I have my milk, lettuce,
Okay.
red pepper, green pepper, onions, chili pepper, carrot,
Yes.
butter, cinnamon stick,
Nice.
my salt, and seasoning cube.
Okay.
So I have my rice.
It's already boiling.
Boiling, yes. So we're just going to go straight. I have my butter.
So is this a special type of butter? Is it the paper type or is it the margarine?
It's the special type of butter.
Oh, wow. The paper type. No. The one that they wwrap inside paper.
Yes, that's what they
wrap. That's the way you know now. You know what I'm talking about. So, real butter or the one that you can't believe is not butter.
So I just have my butter ready. So I'm just going to add my...
Salted, unsalted?
This one is salted.
Okay.
So I'll just add my onions.
Okay, onions are going in now.
It's very easy to make this soup. Yeah.
Okay. I'm following so far. The only thing that baffles me here is the milk. I'm confused. I want to know where that milk is going to go.
Okay.
All right. So this particular type of soup is good for who should be eating this?
Anybody. Anyone can actually have it. You can just take it just like soup, normal soup. You can use it with bread. You can use it with rice.
Okay.
You know, so the seasoning cube went in right now. So I'm going to just put in my crab immediately.
So this crab specifically, like, can you tell us where we could find crab to buy?
You can find crab in all these local markets. I actually got this one around the Yanopaja. So that's why I got this. So my crab is in here.
I'm a big fan of crab, but I know that the place that it was usually purchased close to the water.
Yeah.
Or the very local markets. And you have to
very
ask.
local markets, yes.
You might not just see them on the road. You have to ask.
You know, there are times maybe when I want to use it for a job, I find it very difficult, you know, to get. So whenever I come across the crab, I always get, and you can actually preserve it. When you're done, just dress them and put them in a Ziploc.
Yeah.
Put it in your freezer. Then whenever you need it, you can. Yeah. So this one is actually fresh. Actually, you know, dress it this morning. You know, so the.
Some people might not know what you mean by dressing it, though. What
okay. You know, removed. You know, let me use the word. My kids will say, "Mommy, don't kill it. You are killing the crab."
So the crab usually has a very heavy, hard shell on top.
Yeah. So that's the part you have to, you know, remove. Okay. So I have my crab in here now, and Yotiti was patiently waiting when the cream is going to go in.
Is it going in now?
It's going in immediately.
So this is full cream evaporated milk?
Yes, because the crab is already pre-cooked. Okay. So don't do it and maybe you say, I saw Chef Tina, you know, immediately put in the crab. So it's pre-cooked
already. You just cooked for about 5 minutes?
5 minutes, yes.
Okay.
So it's...
The milk
is in already. Then immediately after the milk, you put your cinnamon stick in it.
Immediately.
You know, and
woo!
Just allow it steam maybe for about 10, 15 minutes. I have my water that I use for the crab, to cook the crab. So I'm not going to pour it away. I'm still going to use it so I can have everything. That's seafood taste in what I'm doing. So I just have this.
Now, Chef Tina, we have to, you know, go to a quick break. But so far, so good. It's simple, easy, quick, and it looks delicious already. It's gonna be another delicious meal right here on Wake Up Nigeria. We're gonna be back after this.
The most talented guys, whether they're older or younger, you know, whatever. Now, this young lady should be in school right now, but she's on the show. She's going to be doing a performance for us, and then we'll be talking to her later on about what she's been up to and why she is so special and so talented and doing many great things. Her name is Iseoluwa, and she's doing one of her songs for us this morning. What song are you doing for us?
I'm doing Motigoke.
Motigoke. And then we'll talk to her later on after her performance. That's a bit later on. Are you ready for us? Let's do it.
One day, I'll go rule my world. Very soon, very soon.
Great one there, great one there. We'll talk with her later. All right, so it's Thursday, tech discussion. Normally we do updates on Monday. Today, we're doing some quite interesting discussions. Titi and Yomi will do this with me. It's great to always have them when we get to talk like this. All right, so now this one, a number of people have started vaping in, as a substitute for cigarettes. But you might just want to listen to this. Now, as 33 states investigate roughly 450 long illnesses that may be associated with vaping, the billionaire, former New York City mayor and founder of Bloomberg, Michael Bloomberg, is committing $160 million, to combat vaping. Bloomberg has long been an advocate for anti-smoking campaigns and has spent millions on getting folks to quit smoking. Now he's turning his attention to vaping, the new scourge of teens everywhere. Now what Bloomberg hopes to accomplish is nothing short of a ban on flavored e-cigarettes and complete cessation of marketing vaping products to minors. Companies like Juul, which Bloomberg Philanthropies singles out by name, are already taking steps to curb the use of vaping products among minors, according to their own statements. Now, you know about vaping. You know that it's e-cigarettes. You know, you have probably a stick or something that you can control electronically. So it's a tech device. And people substitute it for smoking now. But so recently, 33 deaths have been linked to vaping in the US. So people do have to be careful.
Yeah, people do have to be careful because, sometimes it's like you're trying to avoid smoking as a habit, and then suddenly you then discover yourself having to do another habit that could potentially be a greater risk.
A greater risk than even smoking.
So potentially, so they haven't proven it scientifically, but many have been linked like that. So
you know, Titi felt like, he felt like, okay, this is an E option. This might be something that might be cool. You know, it's cool. You've seen people vape around. You know, they have that little.
I just thought it was just like a trend that would probably just fade out eventually. People are always looking for something alternative to, an alternative, like Yomi said, to a bad habit. And it's a problem. Replacing one habit with another. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
The truth is, something shall kill somebody. But
did he just say that?
Something. I'm being serious.
You know, the best way to say this is pidgin English.
The truth is, habits are habits. Whether you swap cigar for it or whatever.
Okay, all right. Moving on from that, now this one would interest a number of Nigerians. Fintech startup Kuda, a digital-only retail bank, has raised $1.6 million in pre-seed funding. The Lagos and London-based company recently launched its beta version of the online mobile finance platform. Kuda also received its banking license from a Nigerian central bank, giving it a distinction compared to other fintech startups. Kuda is the first digital-only bank in Nigeria with a standalone license, one not a mobile wallet or simply a mobile app piggy banking on an existing bank. Kuda Bank founder Babs Ogundeyi told a Tech Crunch, "Now we have built our own full-stack banking software from scratch. We can also take deposits and connect directly to the switch." Ogundeyi added, referring to the Nigeria's central switch, a SWIFT-like system that facilitates bank communication and settlements. Now, earlier on, Yomi, we're talking about opportunities in Nigeria. Now, these are things that digital banking is something that is, the West has gone far with it. This is the first one. What does it portend? What do you think it portends for the Nigerian market?
I think it's excellent. You see, this is why it's important to expose young people to science, technology, engineering, math. When you do that, then it just opens you to a world of opportunities, and then there are different things that your kids will be able to do as they grow, and then they become more competitive.
Good.
Which is why a lot of times what we're seeing now is UK and US-based Nigerians bringing solutions
into the country. Wonderful.
But now we can start developing homegrown solutions as well.
Now, there's something Titi does with her kids, and I'll advise every single parent out there. From the moment your kid can open his or her eye, put a system in front of them. And tell, look,
I like the way you put that.
So I have friends that have, like, maybe their kid is like 3, 4, 5 years, and they're like, let them get to 7 or 8. They are still growing. No, I know Titi has something to tell us in that regard.
So when it comes to tech, obviously there have to be limitations. There's a certain amount of time that should be permitted, and you should be in charge. But the truth is, technology is running the world. There are coding applications online for 3-year-olds. Coding education for 3-year-olds, and you're waiting till they're 7. By then, some kids would have been way ahead of them.
Exactly,
you know?
that
So
is my point.
That's the problem.
That's my point.
Yeah.
From the moment they can see, look, I'm telling you, even sight, put a system, let them start getting used to it because that is where the world is. Everything will run on technology, okay? Now, still on technology. Now, this one is going to be quite interesting. Before I go on, I could not show this particular image, but before I take this story, wherever you are, Google trypophobia, right? You want me to do it? Yeah, trypophobia. Do that. Titi also.
Trypophobia.
Yes,
Yeah.
Google it and then let's
Okay.
talk now. Now, as Apple
my
unveiled
God.
the latest iPhones during its annual event earlier this week, some viewers found their attention drawn to one particular detail: the numerous camera lenses. Now, while likely useful for capturing photos, those who suffer from trypophobia are less than pleased by the new iPhone design. Okay, now, let's get back to this. Okay, so personally, yes, I could say I'm also trypophobic. Yeah. When you look at those images, Yomi, what do you think?
For me, if the holes were many, it's just a mild irritation. That's if they're many. But three holes, cameras tightly spaced together, I think is excellent.
Okay, so now what happens is that it triggers. So it's not necessarily that, like when you see, like I told you to Google trypophobia, you will definitely see some images that might not really, you might really feel very, you know, it might take you somewhere.
Yeah.
But my point is that what happens is that the cameras trigger, they make you remember those sort of images.
Yeah,
That is what happens. That is the complaint with the iPhone 11 camera. Titi, you saw those images of trypophobia.
Yeah, so there
Do
are
you
actually
think
some
that
types of fruit as well that actually trigger that. Like there are some fruit that have very, very tiny seeds in the middle. That also triggers things like trypophobia. But it's just like gives me goosebumps just thinking about it.
you know?
But the issue now is functionality. What you know people want to use the device for. If it's not by force to buy it now, why are you, why are you doing trypophobia?
That's
It's
the
not
thing.
by
That's
force.
the thing. It's not by force, yeah. But you know, trends. People tend to keep up with the latest. You know, more the people that have iPhone 4 now. What are they going to do? iPhone 5, iPhone 6. There's always that latest thing coming up and all of that. But hey, come on. But that's all we can take on our tech discussion this morning. I wanted to take out something else about an Apple series, but I'll do that tomorrow. Jason Momoa is back. You don't want to miss what we'll take on movies tomorrow. Don't go nowhere. We'll take this short break. We'll be right back with a lot more on the show.
Welcome back to the kitchen. Something smells good. Why? Because Chef Tina is around. And maybe even smells better because I'm with her today. You know, I don't know. Is that true? Is that true?
Yeah.
Welcome. So far, we've been making crab soup. Lovely.
Yeah.
So the process so far, let's go over that as quickly as possible.
Okay, in here we have our crab, we have a milk, we have a seasoning cube, we have our chili pepper here, and the stock for the crab in here right now. So it's going.
And then there's evaporated milk in there as well.
Yes.
So the milk is not sweetened.
It's not sweetened at all.
But that cinnamon
has this strong smell, you know, that make whatever ingredients you're using, it will just be so strong that it can overshadow everything.
I actually wanted to say that. Usually by now when you cook crab, the whole place will be smelling like a seafood shop by now. But I think the cinnamon has helped with that.
It will just calm down the aroma of it. So I'm just going to add my carrots.
All right, now I'm a big fan of carrots. As you can see, I'm wearing orange today.
Orange. So the carrots, I don't want to pour everything in because it's much.
Okay.
So I will just allow it maybe for like a minute. Then after that, I'll add my green pepper and my red pepper. Then voila, our soup is ready.
Rice, you didn't add anything special to the rice?
No,
just
no.
Normal parboiled?
Just normal parboiled rice.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. I did note that it's like a white soup. It's not a red soup.
No.
Do you think there's a recipe where you could add like tomato-ish color to it?
You can actually do so. Maybe your ketchup or those cherries, tomato in it, and you can. It really comes out very lovely. Very, very lovely.
Because there are some people that just want that redness in their soup. You know, they just want that orange fried soup kind of feel.
Yeah. So I'm just going to add my green pepper.
Speaking of frying, I noted that there's no oil in this. It's just butter.
Just butter.
That's deliberate, or?
You know, when you're making seafood, it's always good when you don't even add any fatty thing in it, because it's healthy, you know, and using healthy butter also is something that is good. If I'm making seafood okra soup, I don't even add oil at all.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So,
all right, now that is looking very colorful and very tasty, and I'm such a big fan of crab. So we've noted that the crab was already pre-cooked.
Yeah.
So if, for instance, it's been quite a while on the fire now.
It's really not long, you know. At a point you have to, I just put the pot aside because I want us to see the finished products. So you don't overcook crab, you know, because it's not that hard, you know, so just little. For me, I'm okay with this because of my vegetable. I don't want it to be too cooked, you know, so you just do it, let's say like few minutes and it's ready. So you feed out crunchy taste
of the crab,
and of
course the vegetable.
And the vegetable. So our rice is ready, and so also our soup is ready.
All right. So I'm wondering, what else could I add to this that's not here on the table?
To the soup?
Yes. What else is a possible ingredient I could add?
You can actually use your lettuce.
Okay.
You can add your lettuce to it if you like. And like we rightly said, adding the tomato to it also. You can add some celery, you know, on and on, whatever you want.
Or spring onions.
Spring onions. But you know, adding spring onions to it, you already have greenish, which is a green pepper already. So if you had the spring onions, it's just there.
Okay.
You understand? When you're making soup, don't make the vegetable too much. You know, you just pick your colors, orange, red, and green. Then you see it's colorful.
Beautiful.
You know, so you don't need to go through all those process. For some, I like maybe just the carrot alone, or the red and the green pepper alone. Then if I want to, maybe I will decide to use the yellow pepper. So
lovely. Lovely.
Good to go.
So if I was to add another protein to this, you know, because it's crab soup, we know that crab is the main ingredient.
Yeah.
What would I add? What would you suggest I could add to
I
this?
love using shrimps.
Shrimps.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not shrimp soup then? It's still crab soup?
It's still crab soup. Then I also like this tuna fish.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
It will go very, very well with it.
All right then.
And outside that, for me, I just like it plain. Just like it plain, and doing it with the shrimps, you know, the shrimps is just a way of making the food, you know, to have, there's this local word they use, obstacle. So
that something would disturb you. Yeah. All right, so I've been looking for the 7 spoon, but Chef Tina has hidden the 7 spoon because I was planning to, you know, do some pre-tasting, but I know that my director might just cut me off if I do that. But I know that it's time for us to have a chat with our young performer from earlier today. Mary is standing by with Iseoluwa.
More like a fantastic young performer, if you ask me. Well, great to have you here, Iseoluwa.
Thank you.
As you know, Iseoluwa performed a beautiful song just a little while ago on the show, and I'm sure a lot of people, including myself, would like to know how it started, how things are, and what the future holds for her, of course. She's a 14-year-old powerhouse, Abidemi Iseoluwa. She is vivacious and zestful and is full of soul. She catapulted herself into limelight following the release of a self-titled single album and maiden live music concerts. The launch of her album and colorful music video has left quite an impression. And well, it's great to finally have this conversation with you, Iseoluwa. How are you doing today?
I'm quite fine, thank you.
For a 14-year-old, you're super confident. You're super confident. I've been able to interview quite a number of 14-year-olds, and it's easy to tell when someone is really into themselves. But tell me, how did this all start? You started music at 5, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but how did it start? Was it that you just started singing one day and your parents were like, oh, she's got talent? Because 5 is young.
Right?
Yeah.
I started listening to Asha.
Okay.
her songs kind of inspired me, and I started singing along. And listening to my mom in the choir, it also kind of inspired me to sing. And when I did, like you said, my parents really discovered that I have talent. It took a while for them to discover it, but then they discovered it. From there, I started singing in church choirs, in my school choir. I started singing all through, and I kind of felt like this is what I want to do. But at that time, I was too young for, you know, the whole singing up there officially. Yeah. So I started singing officially 2 years ago.
2 years ago when you were 12?
Yes, and I can tell you that it has been a roller coaster.
Wow. Wow, I can imagine. So the first time you took the stage, I know you had a concert last year. Now, a concert is something that takes a lot of planning, and it's something that many successful musicians don't do until maybe much later. So how were you able to pull that off?
Like you said, through the grace of God, like you said, it takes a lot of planning. We started planning at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
And we prayed about it continuously. We took some time, we researched on it. It kind of became this kind of detective kind of work because it had a whole lot of back-breaking rehearsals. It had some dressings. Money was added into it, and it was pulled up by the grace of God. That's all I can really say.
Awesome. So how do you manage your music career with your schooling? Because of course I'm sure you're still in school. I know there are some 14-year-old students that finish secondary school, but I also know that you're still in school. So how do you pull it off?
Well, my parents have been able to draw this vivid map that says when it's time for music kind of on weekdays,
weekends.
On weekends, while school on weekdays. My parents have drawn this map so that I'm able to balance both school and music, and I don't drop in any of them. Okay. Because to be very honest, between me and you, I don't like to drop in any. Okay. So because school is really important, yes, education.
I'm glad you know that.
I can't be a singer and then not have something up here. So yes, that's how we've been able to balance it, and it's truly with the grace of God. But practically everything in my life is basically just God. Just God has been there for me.
Yeah, and that brings me to your parents. What has it been like? Have they, you know, for you to have a child who seems to have like a dual life, so to speak, you have this normal life at school, and then the next day you're taking the stage, and then of course you're in your teenage years, what many parents call the problem years. So how do you think they've been able to handle your personality, especially regarding your career?
Well, when I'm on the stage, I'm Iseoluwa, but at home, I'm the same person as... I don't really like to brag. I don't really like for people to be like, oh, it's Iseoluwa. I don't really like it between my peers. I don't really like to be taken as someone like so special. I kind of like that normal life as in school, and I also like my whole singing life at home. The way my parents have been able to take it, I think they're taking it quite fine. I don't think I would know. And I believe I'm a perfect child.
Okay. So that again takes me to your school. You know what it is like where you have a child star in school? As you said, you'd like to be taken normally, like everyone treats you normally. But sometimes when you have a child star in school, there's that prima proper, I have my clique kind of thing. What has it been like for you at school?
I don't really have those kind of friends. In my school, I kind of call them the friend tree. I don't really have this kind of friend tree. I only kind of have like 1 or 2 friends. But my best friend has remained my mom. She's someone that I can go home and report someone that she doesn't even know to. And she could just be there and just be so confused and just be like...
But she's listening,
yes.
Which counts.
She listens. She's an amazing mother. And I think that's what makes us really close. My colleagues, like I said, I don't have colleagues. I don't have colleagues. Just like me and my very close friend and my mom, my 2 best friends.
So your mom, your close friend, and... So that means you're snubbing everybody else?
No.
So what's happening?
No, I'm okay with everyone else, but then it's not that kind of okay that I'm able to share. Like in cliques, normal cliques, you can share your secrets with all your clique friends, like you said. You can share your secret with all your clique friends. I am only comfortable sharing my secrets with someone that acts like me, someone that understands me.
Like mommy,
yes,
and like a
mommy.
close friend.
Yes.
And so what are your plans for the future? The future is here, you know. 14 years, the next thing you know, you're 40.
No. No.
So you still want to believe you're like 26 years from being 40. That's fine. One day at a time, right?
Yes.
One day at a time. Thank you so much for being on the show, Iseoluwa.
Thank you.
The second hour is over. But of course, I need you to join us for the third hour, which begins shortly. Stay with us as Wake Up Nigeria.
All right, now the third time they say is the charm. Or something close to that, you know. Hey, it's the third hour of Wake Up Nigeria.
Wow, 2 hours has gone by already. And
It's been packed.
it's been packed. I like this young lady and what she's doing.
You mean Iseoluwa?
Iseoluwa, I mean,
Yeah.
she's amazing. I
Yeah,
mean,
she is.
really, really talented. Still pretty young, has her whole life ahead of her, which is really, really great. Starting out,
She's very focused on what she
seems
wants
very
to do.
focused on what she wants to do, and it's just really, really excellent.
Big
And-
shout out to her parents. Really, really.
Yeah, for their support.
Yeah,
Man. I heard her mom is somewhere around.
Yeah, of course.
Keeping a close eye.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
And
Anyway, great stuff has happened on the show over the last 2 hours. You know, your highlights.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think of the show, and especially Iseoluwa, what you thought about her performance, and also about young people in general, just making them
I
up.
would also love to know what you think about Chef Tina's amazing
Crab stuff.
soup.
Oh,
Honestly,
crab soup.
crab
That's what she's
soup.
making, right?
Amazing stuff. She's busy
So,
dishing
Titi,
you
it
know.
takes one person to cook, it takes another person to eat. So thank you so much for helping us cook this delicious meal.
No wahala.
I'm about to... Chef Tina, you've taken
Mary,
this
I'm coming to bounce you from there very soon.
taken
Don't
this
worry.
one.
Don't worry. I'm on my
Mary,
way.
Mary, do
Anyway,
you know what?
I don't know, while these people are arguing, we just have to let you know what's going to be coming up over the next 45 minutes.
Indeed. You won't be disappointed. My name is Titi Layo Oyinson.
And I'm Yomi Okra. Of course, you can watch us live. It's school period, so just in case you need to head off and go drop off the kids and whatever, you can still watch us live on tvhcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yes, indeed. Send in those comments. Use that hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. It's right there. Yeah, it's right there. Download the app. Android, iOS stores allow you to do that. And of course, that means you'll be able to watch us from anywhere in the world.
Still to come, Uche Dominic is an actor, a media consultant, and the author of the book Ali Baba's Adventure, and he'll be joining us shortly.
Yes, so. Then we have Doris Komla, a brilliant sculptor, spoken word artist, very creative in an unconventional and versatile way. She is going to join us for our art display this morning.
Lastly, we're going to be joined by actor Blessing Ambrose.
Yes,
And she
that's
made
her.
appearances in top projects like Tinsel, Hustle, and Daddy's Girls, and many, many more movies.
Save me from the It's been a great day so far. Thursday already, though.
It has been.
You know, when I hear hustle now, all I think of is J-Lo's movie.
Oh, really?
So when I saw hustle,
Yeah, have you
I
seen
was
the
like, okay, yeah, but I've seen so many snippets and
Yeah.
trailers
okay.
that I feel like I've watched it already.
So it actually gave me an interesting perspective. So obviously a lot of people don't realize that the exotic dancer industry worldwide is like $1 billion industry.
It is.
And
Do you know how
so-
much they make?
So a friend of mine told me he was in Vegas. He went for a wedding and they were like, you know what, let's go to one of those exotic clubs. And So they went,
entrance
they
fee.
joined money. You know, they did Voltron to enter. They didn't have enough, you know, to actually spray them. I'm going to say spray.
And that's a crime, by the way.
Or tip them. They didn't have enough. But they shall formed Voltron, had some change, got the money, sprayed the dancers. And the funny thing was, they now came out of the club, were now searching for Uber, or well, a taxi, let's put it that way. And then one of the dancers that they had just finished spraying change now came out and entered her Porsche. So, so who be fool?
Yeah,
like
it's
really?
just like this babe herself, Cardi B. Cardi B used to do that. And
yeah, let's go. Let's go. Welcome back. Like many young boys of his age, Ali Baba loved adventure, and this got him constantly in trouble. This is just a short synopsis of this book in my hand right here, Ali Baba's Adventure, written by Uche Dominic, who's fast becoming a prolific writer of sorts. He's got a couple of books to his name, and he's joining us this morning to talk about this book. How you doing?
All right.
Uche, good to see you.
Yeah,
good to have you join us. Now, I looked through this book. It's quite an interesting read, situated in Gwoza, which is in the northeastern part of Nigeria. And it just gives us an interesting view into the daily life of people that live in that area. Talk to us about this book and why it was important to pick a story from that section of the country in Nigeria.
Okay, Ali Baba's Adventure is actually my sixth book. I've written other books like Little Maria, which is based on the true life story on child abuse and approved by the Lagos State Ministry of Education. I've written Black Sheep, I have a book called Black Sheep. It's a book on juvenile delinquency, and it showcases the boarding school life.
Yeah, the Ali Baba's Adventure, though, I mean, it's almost like you're trying to capture life, which can be normal even in the Northeast and something like that.
Yeah. Now, Ali Baba's Adventure. When I wanted to write Ali Baba's Adventure, I was thinking of the right set, to use. I found out that people read a lot of stories, about something that happened here in the Western Nigeria. And in the Northern Nigeria, there's a lot of negativity coming out from there. And so I decided to do a story that would paint the Northern Nigeria in a positive light. It doesn't have to. We don't have to always talk about Boko Haram and terrorism and all that.
Because I saw that he was living a normal life. He had friends, were playing in caves, getting into trouble. His mother was there, and all of that.
Yes. So the book is actually dedicated to kids in Northern Nigeria who has been deprived of living a normal life as a result of terrorist activities. So the book is about a boy who is quite stubborn and mischievous and adventurous at the same time.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Every kid has that adventurous instinct, adventurous behavior in him. Okay, so at the end of the day, that adventure led him into changing the fortune of his family. The mom was always chastising him for going out to the forest, going out to caves and all that. But at the end of the day, the boy, turned the life of his mother, a single mom, around.
Now, one of the things that I also saw was that you drew some parallels in the book. I mean, apart from the fact that this boy was living a normal life, there were also the issues of the day. For instance, the emir of Gwoza's daughter was kidnapped at some point. And so issues of the day that were going on didn't affect daily life as we know it, even in the Southwest. Why was it important for you to create that kind of balance in the book?
Well, we can't write the story of a certain person without talking about the environment and the society. So in every of my book, I try to bring out some of the ills in the society and also try to pass a message to readers to see how we can nip that in the bud. You know, kidnapping has become a serious issue here in Nigeria. In the north, east, in the south, kidnapping is a daily occurrence. So it would be bad for me to run away from that fact rather than trying to.
Now, one of the things, Uche, that you talked about, well, that becomes apparent in this book is schooling, going to school. So Ali Baba was going to school; he was top of his class and all of that. You know, even though you didn't say it, you know, I mean, it wasn't, you weren't trying to pontificate or anything in the story. It looked like it's one of the themes that you try to push across in the book, that even if there are existing problems in the country wherever you live, it's still important to stay in school.
It's very, very important to stay in school, and I think we should also do so much to let the government know that a lot of things has to be done in the educational sector. And so in every of my book, I try to make sure that I, paint the picture that education is very, very important. Ali Baba was a stubborn child, but Ali Baba was also an intelligent child who was going to school.
And he was top of his class.
And he was top of his class too. So basically, my book is to help kids, improve their reading habits, improve the reading culture, and also help them build their storytelling ability. So you find out that when you're reading my book, you build this image, you get to see it. It's like a movie. It's not that you're just reading. So every of my book, I try to paint a long-lasting impression in the mind of the reader.
You talked about Goza like it's a place that you've been before, because I know Goza is a hilly area and mountainous.
Funny
as
enough,
well.
as a result of the job I do, I'm a journalist too. I also interview people just like you do. I travel a lot, but I've never really been to the north that much. The furthest I've been is Jos. I've been to Abuja, but I've never really been to the north. But as a writer, you are meant to make research, about places and read up. You really can write about anything if you read and make your research very well, and people will feel that you've actually been in that environment.
Wow. Uche Dominic, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And the book is Ali Baba's Adventure, and you can also get other books by Uche Dominic as well. You just find him on social media, and he's an amazing storyteller.
Thank you.
Very good, very good, and good job that you've done. We're heading over to the garden now, where Mary's on standby with Doris Komla and an art exhibition.
I should have known when she looked me in the eyes that something was wrong. She didn't smile as she used to. It felt faint like a faraway song. I should have known there were words in her eyes and thoughts in her mind when she missed the signs of his absence, even though he graced her with his physical presence. Something is wrong. His eyes have shifted from the prize when he decided he had nothing else to live for. She should have known. And I never thought I would ever say this in public, that the dark news could make anyone so sick. I never thought that as the friend of a friend, I would ever be in such a position to help the friend of my friend search for soothing words that could heal the grieving heart of a broken friend of a friend when she kissed her husband her final goodbye at his grave, just the day after he had kissed her goodbye on his way to work. The very fact that he alone knew that that day will be his last makes me want to sigh. Do you see what I see? Can you see how connected we really are, even though we hide behind the beautiful selfies? Do you know how much help you can be to the broken lady who sits in the car and yet you call a superstar? Do you know how much help you can be when you choose to pay attention? Beyond the glasses and lashes, pay attention. Let your hello be sincere and your how are you come from a place of care.
Wow. Amazing. That's some spoken word poetry there. It's time for us to do our art display right here on Wake Up Nigeria. And our guest is Doris Komla. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
So she does a fantastic melange of doing spoken word poetry and artwork as well, which is fantastic. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, so I see you have some of your art pieces here.
Yeah.
And from the spoken word poetry you did now, it focuses a whole lot on suicide, depression, and all the attendant problems of life.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we go into that, let's talk about what informed that spoken word poetry, what informed your artwork in general.
Okay, so it was inspired by personal experiences that happened around me.
Okay.
At the time, I had a friend who was ill.
Okay.
And she was recuperating. She was having to deal with a lot, you know, having a new job and then having to manage her health. And while that was happening, her own friend's husband committed suicide.
Oh, wow.
So she had to move in. I saw her move into this, her own friend's place, just to be there for her and help. So imagine what her routine was like: hospital for herself, get home to help someone, and then go to work. So that was the routine, and it got me worried because I was worried for her health, you know. But at the same time, that was happening. I'm like, what's happening here? Why is it the broken that is helping the broken?
Okay.
While that was going on, another lady somewhere around me, 18-year-old, also committed suicide. And she had posted on her social media that she was going to drink Sniper, and someone, you know, mistook it for a joke and literally said, drink it, and she did.
And she did, and that was it.
And that was it.
Oh
you
my
know,
gosh,
so
that's horrible.
Yes, it is. So for me, I just felt like we needed to draw more attention to our mental health and the stability of the average person in Nigeria and the world at large, because it's a global issue everywhere. You know, so the art pieces was informed around that, and the whole title of series is called Beautiful Lies.
Beautiful Lies.
Yeah.
Okay, before we talk about how you went into art, let's quickly talk about the paintings themselves. Let's start with this one.
Okay.
What does this one depict?
So this is the beautiful flower, and it was inspired by the 18-year-old girl.
Oh,
Majorly because, as I said, you notice there's an innocent young girl's face on it.
Yeah.
You know, and it has colors, just overwhelming colors all around it.
Talking about
life.
Oh, okay.
Yes, depicting life and the whole essence of seeing, you know, it's always all packages with life. Sometimes you're heartbroken, sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're having all sorts of things happen. But the truth is, you can't separate one and think that because that has happened, the worst, that's all life has to offer. It always is a full package. You know, for example, it's in pain that sometimes you get something beautiful. You have a pain, the labor pains for a mother to have a child that we celebrate with. You know, you would probably sometimes lose a job to now eventually get the big one. And maybe you would not have had to, you know, go all out saying you're searching for a job if that one was there. So what would have appeared as a disappointment at the time is now becoming something to bring you good, you know, in the end.
Wow, I
so
like that. What about this one?
Yeah, so this is Ordinary People. Ordinary People is drawing attention, as I said, all the scenarios I have shared with you, now seeing that ordinary people can be victims of mental health illnesses of any sort, and it's never really visible when you see them. So yeah, they probably are wearing their sleek hairdos, as you can see. The female figure,
she's stylish, obviously.
She's stylish, obviously.
Yeah.
The guy is on the hat, so he's stylish too. So they don't look it. They never look it.
That's a brain in between.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's a brain, and you would notice it has red dots on it, which is a sign of danger. Meaning, you can, as much as you pay attention to who you are externally, pay just as much attention to who you are mentally and internally.
Wow. Okay, what about that one?
Oh yeah, so that's
I like the eyelash on flick.
Thank you. Eyelash on flick, eyebrows and everything on flick. Yeah, Slay Girl. So it's the same, still progressing and then projecting the same things. Many times people just look it, and you can almost miss that to assume that they're fine. You know, and say, oh, you're looking beautiful, that's it, and you are just caught up there. But it's important for us to ask the question, how are you? And let your how are you come from a sincere place.
What then does this one represent?
Oh yeah, so this is the dynamics of life. It's just a progression of all of the things that happens in life, you know, and how we move through it. Sometimes you're caught up in the, you know, it's a projection from, if you notice, it's some paper strips. So when you look at it, it has a projection like codes.
Yeah.
So, you know, in the tech space that we are in, a lot has happened. It just feels like we are in the best world ever. Nothing else can come after our generation. So yes, it feels like a revolution.
Welcome back. We have Nollywood actor Blessing Ambrose, and she isn't new to the limelight. She has featured in many of the top TV series and movies that are quite impressive on her resume.
Yeah, and our notable, of course, projects like Tinsel, Hustle, Jemeji, Jennifer's Diary, Tales of Eve.
Whoa.
Man, she looks like she's super busy.
Like she's been everywhere. Like how do you get to be in so many projects? How How do you juggle all of them? How did it get so big and wide for your resume?
First of all, that's what we prayed for.
Okay, okay, I like.
So it's one step at a time.
At a time, okay.
Like you're seeing it now as it is, but it doesn't come it doesn't come every time. But
Okay.
then it comes once in a while. Like they say, one step at a time. It
true.
comes now. It comes later. For now,
Mm.
you could be doing something not really, really big. Another
Okay.
time, you're doing something really, really big. Yeah, so it's like that. So it's been really amazing.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we're always interested on this show in everybody's backstory, like how did you start out? Was this always something you wanted to do? Were you somebody's assistant? Did you just stumble into? Did you run into a producer that just said, "Oh, you might be a good actress"?
Yeah, I like your face.
Yeah,
your face is you.
No, I didn't get that I didn't get that kind of opportunity. Trust me.
Yeah.
So I started acting when I finished my secondary school. Yeah, and then there was nothing like social media platforms where you can just see audition on Instagram and everything. So for me, it was like on TV. Yeah, so I was watching, I think I was watching a series one day and I just stumbled on an audition in Passing Through. So I wrote it down immediately. But then I already started acting in church. I was already acting in church.
Okay.
But my parents were not in support of me moving to limelight. Like they didn't even want me to even do film. Just stay in church.
Do drama in
that.
church.
Stay in church,
Don't
do the work of the Lord.
Yes, do the work of the Lord. You're correct. Yes, so
Keep it in
I
church.
needed to let them know that I wanted to take this further. I didn't want to just remain in church. So then I started going to auditioning, and I had to carry my dad. You know, I would wake my dad up, and make sure I already had my bath, and then my dad gets taken to audition because I didn't know anywhere. So that's how I started.
So you're using your father.
He had to. He had to. He had to
But
be
there's
of
nothing
help.
wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with
No,
that.
at all.
That's why he's your dad.
Yes, it's
so
my
he
dad.
took you to audition venues and all of that. Does he
Yes,
still
was
take you to
taking-
audition venues?
No, he doesn't.
Okay, so now you know. She's a big girl now. You know your way. You know how to. You know how to.
Yes,
Do you still
yes.
act in church?
For now, I wouldn't like.
See, because I see. Look, I don't have any problem. It's okay. You moving out and spending, but I feel like. Okay, have you ever been approached an opportunity to do something in church?
In church,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
I'm still in the drama team.
Okay.
But then,
No
this
time.
acting, there's no time.
Yeah.
We have to still shuffle in because I still school.
Oh,
I
okay.
school, I act,
Okay.
and I sing as well.
You sing?
So, yes, I have, and I model. So I have to do these things all together.
The resume is just becoming
You
wider.
girl also. That's
We have to be very versatile.
That's plenty.
We cannot just stick to acting. Like I said, acting doesn't come every time.
Okay, true.
Yes, so
Very
you can't
true.
just sit back and say, if I don't act, I won't do any other thing. You have to just get busy.
I like that you're a young person still in school doing so many things and just trying to ensure that you have a lot of revenue streams, if you know what I mean. Now I want to talk to you about something a little bit different, which is something that's been trending over the past few days about Nigerians coming back from South Africa. So there's a lot of people who are coming back to the country now, young people, guys, girls, and all of that. What would you say to one of them who is young and they don't know what to do with their lives and they're thinking, maybe blessing might be an inspiration for me to start my life all over again?
In South Africa?
No, in Nigeria.
Those that came back to Nigeria.
Those are coming back, yeah.
Yes, they can actually. The thing is, I guess so many people are actually scared of coming back. That's the first thing to start with. So they have to like come back and then, like a fresh air, like understand what you want to do because you cannot remain in another man's country all through. You have to come to Nigeria. Nigeria is your place. So you have to have a plan for yourself. It's like a plan.
So
B.
wait, just hold that thought there. So I just come now. My name is, let me look for one name, James Cameron. You just pick up one international number. Hello, is this Blessing? I want to feature you in Avatar 3. But you need to leave Nigeria and move to USA fully for you to feature in Avatar 3.
Really?
Yes, Blessing.
Wow.
I need you.
That's a very, very sumptuous.
Yes or no? What will you say? Yes or no? What will you say?
Well, oh my God, I have to look at so many things. But
Avatar 3.
yes, I will leave Nigeria. We have to consider some certain things.
Why are you putting her
in a tight corner?
No,
Like, you just put me on a hot seat right now.
because I think things are it's relative or those kind of things. That's when you come out that level of superstar. When you come out to Nigeria, safe.
It's too bam, as in you just can't miss the opportunity.
Okay, so so talking about you were saying something. Let me pick up from there. You said something that they have to come back to Nigeria?
They have to come back actually and try to build themselves and work on themselves. Because I know that Nigeria is difficult, but even in the difficulties, there are people that are still making it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because you just said several things that you do.
That you do at the same time.
And this is basically you still working on yourself, still improving your craft, still doing music. So it's almost like, look, you're saying to yourself, like, look, whether there are jobs out there or not, I'm just going to improve myself and create opportunities for myself, which is really important.
Just have to.
Okay, so we're seeing something on the screen right now. Tell us.
Let us see it where.
Tell us about those Black Panthers and you.
This is Black Panther Nollywood. let's start it again. What was it that first one?
As in, when I first got this script,
that is Wakanda.
Trust me, in my mind, I'm like, wow.
What's the title of the movie first?
Saint from Glory.
Saint from Glory.
First of all, it's non-secular.
Okay.
The table is prepared before me.
Okay, so
tell us about it. So you were saying when you first got the script.
Yeah. Yes, when I first got the script in my mind, I'm like, goodness, is this really going to happen? Because I haven't. Okay, it was quite challenging for me because it's not like we have the pants on board. I have to just mime and make it look very realistic because acting is make believe.
Yeah,
true. So if people don't believe, it's nothing.
It
wouldn't mean anything to people. So it was really a good one. Trust me, for me to be on this project took a better part of me.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
And you brought out made a better actor out of you.
Exactly,
Obviously.
it did.
Yeah.
How do you deal with naysayers? Now someone sees this now.
And say
no. Number of us say, oh, this is utter crap. This girl, I don't understand what kind of acting is this.
So you can't get.
How do you deal with them?
You can't get yes from everyone. So to me, I just look at them and say, yes, it happened. So yeah, we did it. Yeah, so let us move on. What else? What do you want me to say?
Talking about moving on, while we're still talking about this, let's move on to the kitchen, and you still tell us how you deal with naysayers.
Yeah.
Let's head over there.
When you taste the food, you have to act.
You have to act the sickness, right?
Yeah, so whether or not, please have a seat over here.
Okay.
So guys, this is...
Thank you.
This is Blessing, guys.
Wow. Hello. Hi. Yeah, welcome. Thank you.
Tina has been hard at work. Wow. And she's made crab soup a Latina.
Wow.
Crab soup a Latina.
Yes.
Did you add a Latina to it?
Yeah, I did. Please have a taste.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell us about it, Chef Tina.
Okay, I made the crab soup and white rice. So in here I have my crab, I have milk, I have butter,
Crab milk butter.
I have butter, I have my carrots, green pepper, red pepper, my seasoning cube, and the cinnamon stick. You know, that makes it.
Go ahead and try it.
All right, please go
What
ahead
should
and
she
try.
start from, Chef Tina?
So,
I'm wondering.
there's cutlery right there.
Good start.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
I don't
I'm
know,
just wondering,
what's your
milk.
method? Do you put the rice in the soup? Do you put the soup on the rice? Or do you just taste the soup
Because
first?
once you put this in front of me,
just taste the soup first. Everybody knows what rice tastes like.
just a little, maybe a little bit of...
rice.
Or we can also try the soup
Here,
with
I
a
can
spoon.
use this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, you already go.
Yeah, just put a little bit of that on it and then see how that works.
Oh,
Interesting. This is nice. You know, when I first heard milk, in my mind I was like, am I going to be getting a tea taste? Inside the soup.
Yeah.
Oh, really nice.
All right. So,
Chef Tina, well done.
thank you so
As
much.
always.
Thank
I'm
you.
definitely going to be trying this one.
Yeah.
Definitely, because I'm a big fan of crab. And it's very healthy as
Yeah.
well.
Oh,
So,
crabs are healthy. Okay.
Yes.
very. I know you're not a seafood fan. No?
How do you eat crab? You suck it or what? How do you
No,
eat crab?
you
You
break
just
it.
break
You
it.
break it.
There's a
in-
beef in there.
Yeah, so key areas that it's necessary to crack.
There'll be a lot of sucking. Get ready for that. Like,
Well, I don't actually do that. I just break it in certain places. You just
Yeah.
have to
the fun
know.
part is the sucking,
will you
sucking out
Yes.
the
You can scoop it out.
Scoop it, yes.
Yeah.
Like
Scoop it out with a teaspoon or something.
periwinkles.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
name
yeah.
is the experts.
Okay.
Aish.
You know what? We've made you hungry enough. We have to tell you. Well, we have an amazing show for you tomorrow, that's for sure.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
And it will be game day.
Calm down. It's not Friday yet.
Yeah, tomorrow now. I'm preparing people.
A big thank you to Homely NG for the kitchen accessories.
Yes, indeed. And thank you to everyone who's tuned in today, everyone who was on the show. Big shout out to all of you about to start your day. Hopefully we helped you start it the right way.
Yeah, blessing. Thank you for swinging by today. And Chef Tina.
Thank
you. Thank you so very much.
Yomi, I think you should wear more turtlenecks. It's really nice. I like it.
Oh, gosh. He likes compliments. You don't mind him.
Yes, no, I know what I'm doing. Don't worry. After the show.
You guys.